여러분, 안녕하세요. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am reporting to you live from quarantine in Seoul, Korea. I'm in an Airbnb, and I figured that I am going to post a video, a few things I wish I knew before I set off to Korea. And I'm posting this because I thought I researched everything. I asked a few contacts, acquaintances I had on Instagram. I asked them a few questions and they all answered super nicely and honestly. However, they didn't come to Korea during, COVID. And so it is fair to say that perhaps a lot of these things never occurred to them that would be necessary to tell me, and that's totally fine. I appreciate everything, but I figured I'd share. I'd share the tips that you should know before coming to Korea during COVID and when you need to self-quarantine, because these are some things I really wish I knew. The first thing and the most important thing, the thing I would say the most, figure out your SIM card before you come here. This may not be necessary to people who come here who don't need to quarantine, because you can just go to any store and get a monthly, plan, and it's all fun and games. But if you need to quarantine and you haven't figured out your SIM card, you have no way to order food. There are 1 or 2 apps made for foreigners that you don't need to have a phone number for, but they have very specific working hours. A lot of the restaurants don't work through them most hours of the day. I didn't know this. And so I was like, I got to Incheon Airport. They had a booth for like temporary, short-term plans. And I was like, you know what? They said that it's pretty simple to figure out. Most people don't even use SIM. Everyone uses Wi-Fi and Kakao Talk. It'll be fine. I don't need to pay for these, It didn't occur to me that all of these apps, all of the delivery apps, the food delivery apps, the goods delivery apps, groceries, in order to sign up for them, you need a phone number. And that was a problem. So obviously I ordered a short-term one. It's going to be here today or tomorrow, hopefully. But I signed up for like a 10-day plan because I should be out of quarantine by then and I'll be able to get a long-term plan. But if I could say anything to anyone coming here by yourself, figure out a SIM for at least the quarantine situation, because not only will you not be able to order food easily, again, there are a few apps that you can do it through, but it's not as convenient and it may be more expensive, I don't know. But you also need to check in with your quarantine officer, and there's no way to call them if you don't have a SIM card. I figured it out because I used Skype international calls, so I paid for that plan. I'm going to cancel it once I get my SIM card. It's necessary. It is a lot more necessary than I thought. So try to figure that out if you're going to be self-quarantining. Either order it ahead of time and have it set so that you can pick it up from Incheon Airport, or get a short-term plan at Incheon Airport just to ease your anxieties, because I freaked out a little bit. The second tip would be to download the app, the self-quarantine app, even though that's not as necessary, because at the entrance of Seoul, like once you get into the airport at Incheon, so not Seoul but Incheon, there are QR codes everywhere. There is airport Wi-Fi. You can download the app. They'll help everything. They'll help you figure everything out. They'll fill it out for you. Just make sure that you have your self-quarantine location on hand and a contact's phone number. So I gave them my university's phone number, and that worked out pretty well. But if you have your own phone number, I would, suggest giving them your own phone number if you have a SIM card. Very helpful, so they can contact you directly. And I think that's it. One more thing I'm going to say is that I started freaking out because I didn't have a thermometer, because you need to check your temperature twice a day. And I didn't have one. I didn't realize I needed to bring one because it didn't occur to me. And so I was here for the first day and a half without a thermometer. I downloaded an app that calculates your temperature through like your blood pressure and your inhales per minute. Like it was surprisingly accurate, like it's weirdly so. But the second day, someone came to the door and gave me this quarantine packet. It has a bunch of things in it. I'll show you. It's not like in Japan where they give you like 2-week supply of like an insane amount of food. That's not the situation. It's COVID related items. So they gave me the thermometer. Where did I put that? Oh, so it came with a thermometer, so I didn't have to worry about that after that point. And I honestly was freaking out. I couldn't find a way to order a thermometer because I didn't have a phone number. And I was like, what if they find out that like I didn't have a thermometer? And I was checking using this app, which is not very, they send you a packet, it has a thermometer in it, you're good. It came with disinfectant spray. I believe that's what it is. This is from the airport. On the airport, they'll also give you, not at the airport, the plane company I came with, so Etihad Airlines. They gave me a bunch of like sanitary wipes and face masks, so that you get on the plane if you come through that airline. I don't know what other airlines do. That just was in there, so that has nothing to do with what the government gives you in this packet. They give you KN95 non-medical face masks, regular face masks, KF94 face masks. We got 3 of those, and these quarantine waste bags. So when you're done with your quarantine, collect all of your garbage, put everything in here. I guess they want it to be separate, so at least then my my Airbnb hostess doesn't have to worry about all of the laws with the recycling and everything. Just put all of your garbage into these bags so that they know that a quarantined person's garbage is in here, and they, I guess, put it in like a toxic waste area. Then you get these pamphlets, a bunch of information with websites and apps to help you through your quarantine. Honestly, I somehow missed this page, which seems like it would have helped me a lot. I haven't downloaded So Life yet. Maybe I should. Maybe I could have bought more things with this. That would have been very, very helpful. And then Encore, which is where I ordered my cell phone SIM card that's going to come either today or tomorrow from. So I'm going to look into So Life. I will look this up and let you guys know if you can access this without a phone number. I wish I'd gotten this a little earlier. But to be fair, at the exit of the airport, they did have a bunch of booths, and one of the booths did have a pamphlet about Encore. So that's how I got my SIM card. So very useful. There's another shop called Shuttle. That's where I've been getting my food from. I don't need a SIM card to order from there. And another app called Trazy. I'll add all of the links in the description box for all of these websites. And they're helpful for new foreigners. That being said, if you want to use any of the commonly used e-commerce websites that perhaps have more options, I would consider getting a SIM card. I honestly wish I would have gotten this before, because I have not checked out So Life, but it seems very very useful. So yeah, maybe I'll post a second update with like websites that are good for foreigners to know. And they also come with a quarantine issuance. It's a very formal form. When you get this packet, someone comes to the door and checks that you're in quarantine, and also gives you this. It tells you exactly when you need to come out of quarantine and exactly when you need to go do your second COVID test. You need to do your first COVID test within 24 hours of arrival. They have plenty of test centers around the city. And just make sure that you check with your COVID case officer that you're allowed to leave. A lot of people have said that they never contacted them, that you can leave. Like, it's very different per person, but just to be safe, I would send in a request through the app, and I would try to contact your case officer so you don't get in any trouble. That's the last thing you want to be in when you just arrived in this new city and you have all of these hopes and dreams, and then, this quarantine ruins everything. So those are my few cents regarding being a foreigner coming to Seoul or coming to Korea during the COVID-19 pandemic. I hope you found this interesting, informative, and useful. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the alarm bell. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and for your time. Have a great day. 안녕히 계세요. Bye guys!